this matter. So this is where they've took my phone and then they want access to my phone and they're asking me. So basically, in the court case that I currently face, Justice Nick Lynn is the judge from the film you've watched. Yeah, that's on
Which is
47.
pinned for anyone listening. You have to watch the documentary. Obviously, I watched it preparing for this. It's pinned on Tommy's profile. Highly recommend for anyone to watch it to understand what charges Tommy's facing is based on that documentary. And you just watch it. Everyone listening, watch it and tell me if there's anything wrong with it in the comments. If you should be prosecuted for that documentary. But go ahead, Tommy.
I'm going to ask the judge. So as I said, I'm not going to go quietly. I will ask the judge.
But the judge, but for the judge to dismiss it, I'm not a lawyer. But what I don't understand is you had all these witnesses come up on stage, in the court case you referenced in the documentary that's pinned on your profile, and then the other party. I don't know who's guilty, who's not. It's not my position to kind of label anyone. But Jamal had nobody from school, no teachers, no students whatsoever, and then all the witnesses that you brought on the. So when you say you're going to tell the judge, do you have any trust, any faith in the British legal system?
There is no trust, there is no faith, there's no jury, so there's a judge, and that judge. So I made a comment, yeah. So I've had further evidence found out that the judge fell out with his own father, yeah, before my court case, because his father joined a group that I'm associated with. So his father was a supporter of our politics. And the judge fell out with his dad before my case. So the judge should have excused himself, which he didn't. We're looking at legal options now of attempting to dismiss their case because he shouldn't have even sat as a judge. But he did sit as a judge. So what he done is he listened to there's covert recordings of 7 teachers, including the head teacher, yeah, all confirming what I've said. Yeah. So I reported as a journalist, which is my job. I reported to the public what I was being told was happening at the school with regards to this Syrian refugee. That's what I reported. I just said, look, you're not being told the full truth because the media weren't telling everyone the truth and the teachers weren't telling anyone the truth. And I was sitting thinking, how come this lie is going around the world and no one's stopping it? So when I put a covert camera on and I approach the teachers, what we find out is they've all been paid. They've been paid by Kirklees Council and the head of Kirk. It's all in the documentary. Yeah? It's a very good investigation in the documentary. It's not my opinion. None of it's my opinion. You hear from the school staff. You hear from the teachers, you look at the school record. So the judge ruled that I defamed Jamal. Yeah, that's what he ruled. He bankrupted me for £1.6 million, but he ruled that I defamed Jamal by saying that Jamal threatened to stab someone. Now, on the documentary, we look at the school records where the teacher says he did stab someone. The teacher, not me, again, I didn't say it. The teacher said it. Now, what they've done is they paid all these teachers with non-disclosure agreements so they couldn't tell the truth. So,
and that's paying, but Tommy, you're using taxpayer money to pay those teachers as well to silence them.
Yeah.
But let me take a step back. With everything you're going through right now, I'm going through a similar predicament on a much smaller scale. There's countries I don't go to. I've had Brazil launch an investigation into me and Elon. I don't go to Brazil. Obviously Pakistan, because I've had Imran Khan, the prime minister, on my stage. I don't go there. Brazil, we've had the president. I was invited by a president about a week ago, and the person that you're talking to, Jess, she's the one that's brokering that deal, to go to that country. And after seeing what happened with Pavel in France, on his way allegedly to meet Macron, the prime minister, and then getting arrested, I'm not going to that country. I'm not going to France. And now I'm contemplating adding the UK to the list of countries I would not dare step foot into, considering how vocal we've been about free speech in the country. Would you, under any circumstances at the moment, go back to the UK?
I currently plan to go back to the UK, yes. I currently do. I expect to be in prison. That's what I expect. But only for the sense. So essentially, I'm a review. Every message I'm receiving from everyone is telling me exactly the same. Do not go back to the UK. Yeah. Do not go back in this current climax. Do not go back. But for me, I see it as an opportunity to put them on trial to the world. So I see it as a final nail in their coffin, not mine, maybe in mine as well. But I see it as an opportunity to put myself there and say, go on then. Because 47 million people have watched that film. 47 million people know I reported the truth. You're going to let 47 million people know there is no freedom of the press and no freedom of speech, yeah, which I know. So what has my job been, and what has my mission been for the last 15 years? It's awakening the public. We live under communism. There is no freedom. Yeah, they just pretend we live in a democracy. We don't. It's all nonsense. It's all a facade. Yeah? The minute you try and challenge any of the establishment's narratives, they come down you like a ton of bricks. The difference is currently, thanks to Elon Musk. Now, if I didn't have an X account, no, I would not probably be wanting to go back to the UK. But currently, you're all going to follow what happens. You're all going to witness what happens. Okay. Now, I'm worried. Of course, I'm worried. My family are worried. My mum's, they're all terrified. No one, because we're witnessing, and everyone's witnessing. People haven't broke the law and they've gone to jail. People are being stitched up and set up. Which again, I will. Would I go back to the UK before my film's ready? No. I will finish my film. Maybe listening to this, they're probably going to come and boot the doors off wherever I am. But we will produce a documentary and we will prove to the world that they have gaslit the world about these riots. They've lied. They're going on about misinformation. They're on about sentencing people for misinformation. From the start of those riots, I call for peace, calm. There is not one single, in fact, which I'll show on the documentary, just go on AI. Like they said that I instigated the riots, I encouraged violence. Piers Morgan sat, that all of their mouthpieces from the media, police senior leaders blamed it on the English Defence League. That organisation hasn't been about for a decade. They lied. They are the ones that continue to push misinformation. They've done it about Brexit. They've done it about mass immigration. They've done it about COVID. They've done it about vaccines. They've done it about Ukraine. They've done it about the war in Iraq. They've done it about the war in Afghanistan. They've done it about Assad with chemical weapons. They are the ones who push the misinformation. They're not happy because at the minute we're in the way of them lying to the public all the time.
Would you say, Tommy, when you look at all these journalists, and I was thinking about this when watching your documentary, you've got all these people that were either unintentionally or willingly lying to the public and turning a blind eye to the truth. First, do you think it was willful by every single journalist? And second, why? When you speak to them, I'm sure some of them reached out to you.